What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is your usual weekly reactor hunt video for the First Descendant. I make one of these at the beginning of a weekly cycle on Tuesdays every week, and the idea is that I present you with options of where you can go to hunt down specific reactors for specific descendants. This video covers the 10th of September until the 17th, and you'll notice that this video is super short compared to the previous ones that I've made, and that is by design since this is a terrible week for hunting down reactors. But before we get to that point, let me explain exactly how this works so that you understand why I say that it's a terrible week. So first things first, we have a list like this of all of the descendants and all of their meta reactors. We can also then extrapolate that information into a list like this, which basically shows us that we can combine some descendants together since their meta reactors are the same type. A good example would be Izamo and Lepic, who both use fire and tech. Now, the reason why this is not a good week is because, generally speaking, in a video like this, I present you with hotspots, good places where you can go farm, which give you a huge amount of reactors per minute, thereby kind of like making the slog of farming reactors that little bit bearable. More bearable, I can say. Does that mean that you won't be able to farm reactors that I don't specifically mention in this video? No, not at all. Again, like I said, I focus on areas that have high mob density or high amounts of reactor drops per minute, because that's going to give you the most bang for your buck. Now, this is not a good week because a lot of the meta picks are either not present, meaning that you just simply cannot farm for the reactors at all, or in the cases that you can farm for those reactors, they are paired with very bad weapon types for mounting, which kind of defeats the purpose, because if you have a yellow ultimate reactor, but the weapon mounting doesn't make any sense and it's not a weapon that you'd ever use on that descendant, then it kind of like is a dead reactor to you. So let's quickly run through some of the meta ones. I'm not going to run through each one of the lines because I'm trying to keep this video short and concise. I don't want to waste your time. So the point is just to, for example, to show you what I meant with Izamo and Lepic. If we go over here, and of course you get to this information by opening up your map and going to difficulty level rewards, and we say Izamo Lepic is fire and tech. So we go cool, fire, and we go tech, and we see boom, no fire tech representation this week at all. So it's simply not a reactor that we can spot farm this week at all. Does it mean that you can't accidentally pick one up in the wild randomly from an enemy? No, not at all. That can absolutely happen. There's just no way for us to target farm them this week. Let's look at the other fire type that Blair uses. Blair uses Dimension. So if we look at Dimension, we can see, oh shit, there's actually 3 different places we can go farm to this week. However, neither one of these 3 are what I would consider areas that have hotspots, meaning a lot of enemies that you can kill. However, let's say, for example, you do want to get yourself a fire dimension reactor for Blair, and you need it to be a general rounds mounting, like maybe you want to use Enduring Legacy or T-Cage or something like that, then Moongrave Basin is obviously where you'd go. My only issue is there's not really any mission that's fantastic to grind in Moongrave Basin, with the exception of maybe water cooling recording device, but it's just simply not that great. Looking at some of the other meta choices, so let's for example take Haley. Haley was released like 2 weeks ago, so you might still be looking for a nice reactor for her. Last week we had an opportunity to farm for her, so she is of course chill and she is singular. And you'll notice that here we have the lumberyard and we have ironworks, but you'll notice that the mounting is dog shit. We have special rounds, which is clairvoyance, fucking secret garden, Greg's, something like that, or you have general rounds, which is enduring legacy and possibly, you know, like thunder cage and so on. Definitely special rounds is a bad call for her. There is some argument to be made that Enduring Legacy on her is really good in a bullet build, and so therefore this could be potentially a good choice. But then again, the reactor's power doesn't really matter in the bullet build for Haley, since you are actually concentrating on getting the most damage out of your gun. So you can see the problem that we have. However, you could go to the Ironworks, which is, by the way, a terrible fucking area to farm, to actually farm that reactor for. So the list goes on. You can go through each one of the categories that I have on there. I've done that. I've done the due diligence to check out, and nothing has blown my hair back in terms of reactor options for us this week. This is actually let me go to face camera. Yeah, probably not such a bad thing, because if you guys have been going ham on the game like I have, then you might be looking at a little bit of burnout, and you might need to take a little bit of a break, and an off week like this is actually the perfect time to do something like that. We're kind of like a few weeks into the season pass now as well, so that was made a little bit easier for us now to do the season activities and so on. It's been made easier to farm Haley, so if you don't have Haley yet, you can concentrate on that. But definitely speaking, for reactors, this week might not be a good week for you to use that as a reason to play the game. I do also want to mention, I'm not trying to get people to not play the First Descendant. Of course, I fucking love the game and I am still playing it, but it's also actually a really good time to take a break, because Space Marine 2 just came out, Astrobot is out, there's a bunch of other cool games that you can just take some time off, readjust, reevaluate, get ready to grind some more in the First Descendant. And next week, when we have some better options for better reactors, we're gonna get right on it. That's it for the video. I wanted to keep it short and concise. I even went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but enjoy whatever you do this week. I'm going to see you next week for the same Reactor Hunt video again, hopefully with some great choices. And obviously keep a view on the channel for additional First Descendant, like gun guides, character guides, and that type of content to drop, because that will not stop. Other than that, it's just super important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Till next video, fucking cheers.